Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are two of my favorite games. One thing I really enjoyed about them was their inclusion of shrines. These mini puzzle boxes had a lot of ways to mess around and have fun. I would often create unique routes, mess around with precise jumps, and sometimes even solve the puzzles normally. Some shrines in Tears of the Kingdom seem similar to ones seen in Breath of the Wild. Here is a comparison of two pairs that I think seem similar. Damizuin and Ruta-U. These two shrines both have a block you can rotate. This block controls how you interact with the shrine. It closes and opens different pathways each time you hit the switch. Despite their similarities, these two shrines set themselves apart fairly well. In Damizuin, you enter inside a cube that you can rotate. To complete this shrine, your goal is to ascend to the top of the cube. In Ruta-U, you need to navigate around the block, rotate it to open sections up, and eventually finish at the top. Ruta-U starts by having you hit a switch. Doing so rotates the cube and reveals a new pathway. Following this path leads to a chest with a key. Returning to the starting area, you can now rotate the cube and unlock the door. Now you can throw the orb into a container to hold it while you rotate the cube, which sends it to its final resting point. This activates a platform to launch you upwards. Using the paraglider, you can now reach an optional chest. From this platform, you can shoot the switch to rotate the cube one last time, revealing the ending area. Ruta-U is a very fun shrine, and despite being small, I believe it manages to have a lot of things to do. One odd thing about this shrine is there is water at the bottom of it that doesn't really seem to have any purpose to it whatsoever. It would be pretty funny if they included it just to confuse people. Damizuing starts by having you ascend to the main part of the shrine. Hitting the switch rotates the cube, allowing you to enter inside of it. There are a few optional chests you can get by rotating the cube in a variety of ways. After obtaining or ignoring these chests, you can position the cube correctly to ascend to the top of it. I find it interesting you are forced to use Ascend to begin the shrine. It's the only ability that even has a use inside the shrine, so I guess the developers wanted you to have it selected to start. In Ruta-U, navigating around the block was fun, and the shrine had some interesting concepts you don't usually see, like using a rotated locked door to block a vertical pathway. The block you rotate in this shrine only has two states, but I feel like it makes the most out of both of them. Damizuin's puzzle, if you can even call it that, was actually pretty simple in comparison. It can be solved by just rotating it randomly until you're in a desirable position, without really needing to think too much about it. This is probably just because of all the different ways you can have it rotated. If they accounted for all rotations, it probably would have ended up being a lot more complicated of a puzzle. I personally found Ruta-U to be slightly more enjoyable than Damizuin. It just was more engaging overall. Ratsumamu and Shai Uto. Both of these shrines use tilting platforms to cross gaps and gain height. Ratsumamu requires using abilities like Recall and Ultra Hand. while Shai Uto makes use of the Stasis and Magnesis ruins. Aside from the differences of abilities used to complete the shrine, the puzzles themselves still seem very similar. The Shai Uto shrine starts off with one simple tilting platform. Using stasis, you can halt the tilt to get up to the next part of the shrine. Repeating this process one more time allows you to access a chest on the right. The next tilting platform won't be as simple. You must bring this chest with you to the end of the shrine. Now you have to launch yourself upward with the chest, which is easier said than done. This gives you access to one final chest, and from here you simply stasis the last tilting platform and paraglider to the end. If the chest launch upwards is giving you trouble, you can weigh down the third tilting platform with the chest, then stasis the fourth one to finish the shrine. One last way of completing this shrine is to stasis the third tilting platform and jump to the fourth one. The ending puzzle isn't extremely obvious, so I'd imagine a lot of people missed that last chest. At least it's just a regular ancient corner, not a giant one. Similarly to Shai Uto, Ratsumamu starts off with one tilting platform. You can use recall to keep it in place, which is essentially stasis in this case. The second tilting platform you can weigh down with a barrel using Ultra Hand. The third tilting platform of this shrine is a bit different from ones we've previously seen. This massive platform needs to be held down by something a lot heavier. Using Ultra Hand and a stone slab, you can create a bridge to a chest. Finally, connecting this metal box to the stone slab allows you to weigh down the tilting platform enough to reach the ending area. This shrine is relatively straightforward. The only part I remember giving me trouble casually was weighing down that final tilting platform. Given all the possibilities with Ultra Hand, that final tilting platform probably has a lot of ways to solve it. I think Ratsumamu probably took the most inspiration from Breath of the Wild's shrines. As to which one I prefer, I think Ratsumamu is slightly better. Ratsumamu introduced the larger tilting platform, and its final puzzle isn't nearly as complicated as Shai Uto's. Did you notice any shrines that seem similar, or any shrines you just particularly enjoyed? I'd like to hear your thoughts on the shrines. Thanks for watching.